Alrighty, what's up guys, Single Player Nacho here. The inevitable evil has happened, and Albert Wesker, ultimate Ray-Bans wearer and destroyer of worlds, has been added to Dead by Daylight. And it's hard not to get excited. As a Resident Evil fan, the essence of Albert Wesker is actually pretty simple. Robotic, Terminator-like horror. This is perfectly translated in the Project W chapter, as Albert's movements mirror that of a haywire test subject who's just brimming to unleash his power. And he has a lot of that evil, BOW power indeed. His main power is known as Virulent Bond, an ungodly tentacle arm with putrid virus fluids that not only makes Albert Wesker faster, lunging at players at deadly speeds, it actually infects the survivors as well. Somewhat of a difference compared to the Alberts in the games, as he'd typically infect people on a rare occasion, believing himself to be a god, and of course that godlike power is sacred. It just makes people turn into nasty octopusy creatures, but in the Dead by Daylight world, the infection is reduced to limiting the speed of survivors. And how awesome is it that survivors can use first aid sprays in order to cure themselves from infection? It's such a cool touch. These first aid sprays can be found around the map at your most convenient location. Of course, if you don't cure yourself, you'll reach a critical infection rate, slowing you down even more and making Wesker even faster than a Matrix stunt double. That is the most interesting aspect of having Wesker in Dead by Daylight, the focus of his superhuman abilities being brought out tenfold. If you look at his perks and powers, there's a fair amount of attention on his genes and behavior exhibiting vast amounts of strength, speed, and, how can I forget, the ability to choke the shit out of people. I played Wesker for a bit on the player test build, and while he is slow, robotic at turns, there's nothing more satisfying than getting a good hold on a survivor's neck. And that's something I never thought I'd find satisfying until of course I force choked Ada Wong. Oh yeah! 2 Resident Evil protagonists were also added, Rebecca Chambers and our lovable bitch in the red dress. I know everyone is clamoring for Chris Redfield and Wesker interactions, which there are.
Time to die,
But perhaps an even lesser known interaction, at least within RE games, is the special attention Wesker paid to Rebecca Chambers. It's no secret that Wesker had a creepy obsession with the Rising Rookie, found through a very mysterious Easter egg. Nevertheless, this iteration of Albert has some interesting tidbits when it comes to his lore as the ultimate Umbrella product. In Dead by Daylight, Wesker's lore states, Albert Wesker was a high-ranking official in the Umbrella Corporation. While he made great strides with Umbrella, his ambition drove him to betray the corporation. In all the years of Resident Evil villains, the one that truly never succumbed to empathy, let alone redemption, was Wesker. There is simply zero emotion behind those sunglasses from hell, and it makes him into the perfect test subject. I mean, he walks, talks, and behaves like a lab experiment. There is a heavy contrast here though, when translated to what the entity wants, and what Albert himself wants. The entity thrives on extreme emotions, while Albert does not. He's just really good at pushing people to their utmost survival instinct. So that's where they may share similarities in terms of goals. In the games, he essentially used an entire elite star squad as his little guinea pigs. But Wesker does not strike me as the type of villain that would adhere to the entity, knowing damn well he'd use it to fit his ultimate goal of creating a superhuman species, with himself as the god of this crazy, crazy world. His DBD lore also states, exposing himself to Ouroboros, he began to evolve in ways he could have never imagined. But as he felt his cells change, a strange black fog seeped into the hangar and filled his vision. When the fog finally dissipated, he found himself in another world surrounded by lesser beings that deserve to be put out of their misery. Now this is absolutely hilarious. Albert Wesker has found himself in his own personal hell of sorts, with all these dumb survivors running around for their inevitable doom. I can't imagine he'd find them useful in the least bit, even as test subjects. That's something that must be understood about Wesker. He genuinely thinks and sees himself as a higher being, and that's something that stems from his insane childhood. The Project W chapter shares the same name as the program that created Albert Wesker, with the W standing for Wesker. Project W amassed highly intelligent children from all over the world, and they were kidnapped by Umbrella. These Project W kids were given a virus and, you guessed it, nearly all of them died, one of the few survivors being Albert Wesker. So this guy is no stranger to exposing himself to various viruses, so long as it makes him stronger. So, for the newer fans that aren't too sure about picking up Wesker, that is exactly why he just seems so stagnant and unbothered. He's been like this ever since he was a child. You're looking at the principle of human evolution. At least that's what he thinks. Here's a quick compilation of every time Wesker really fucked up in the games, and boy do they look painful. And there is a fair amount of props that should go towards the actual mechanics of playing Wesker. You just feel like a vehicle of Ouroboros, loneliness, and superiority. Wesker snickers and is overly confident, as he always has been, seeing every trial as business as usual. He leaps through obstacles, destroying pallets at ease, and surprising the shit out of survivors via chokehold. This comes full circle through his Mori animations, which is definitely gruesome, but so Resident Evil.
Let's finish this.
You just can't go wrong with some nasty ass vines through the mouth. Disgusting. Well, thank you so much for checking out this video. I hope you enjoyed it. What are your thoughts on Wesker's treatment in Dead by Daylight? Does it do him justice? Would you have liked to see another Resident Evil villain instead of Wesker? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more horror lore, lists, and mysteries. Have an awesome rest of your day. And as always, stay single.